All right. What is today? It's the 18th already. Welcome. John Lee, St. Louis Real Estate Investors Association. Today's the 18th of October. Good to see you here to network and see what everybody's doing. Good to see some smiling faces. Lloyd, you want to start us off with any announcements or anything before we get Laura here?
Yeah, I can. Just want to thank everybody that was able to join us for our main meeting last Tuesday. Had a good Dave Randolph had a great presentation for us. He's always full of good information. Like I said, he filled the whole time slide and then some. So he's a great speaker. He knows what he's talking about too. He's learned from the best, and now he is one of the best teachers in rehabbing and short sales. So got a lot of interest there. Anyway, that's it for upcoming meetings other than the Friday up until we get to November. Got our November the 19th meeting coming up on the third Tuesday of November, the 19th, and that'll be our last one of the year because we do not meet don't have a third Tuesday meeting in December. And then, as I mentioned last week, and at Tuesday's meeting, we're going to be at a new facility on the third Tuesday in January at the Lodge de Pere. It's 1050 De Pere Road in De Pere, Missouri. So hope to see you there. And after the new year starts, we're going to get our new facility, and we're nice new facility, and we're going to have catered food there. They don't let us bring in our own sandwiches and pizza, so might have an upgrade. We have pretty good food at our Tuesday meetings here, so looking forward to seeing you there. And yeah, that's all I got for right now. Laura, do you want to give your disclaimer?
Yes. Good morning and welcome, everyone. First, I'd like to do a bit of housekeeping. Feel free to unmute yourself when it's your turn to speak. Please be mindful of everyone else by muting yourself while others are speaking. You're welcome to put any contact information that you want to share into the chat. We meet here to share deals, look for deals and solutions we have in need with our real estate. We are not your financial advisors, attorney, or accountants. We do not endorse or recommend any specific solutions or contractors here. You're advised to do your own due diligence to your own satisfaction before you invest. The first Friday of each month is Ask the Attorney with Miss Catherine Davis. Our meetings are typically recorded, so only share what you want others to know.
Okay, thank you, Laura. Well, who wants to start us out here today? Anybody got any properties they want to put on the market here that you haven't listed yet? Or if you got them listed, tell us about them. And get any wholesalers online here that have something under contract looking for an assignment? Or if you are a contractor and you got some services to offer to real estate investors, just give us time to give us a shout out. Let us know about your.
Hey, I've got one coming up if you.
Sure, David, go ahead.
Sure, thanks. Not a wholesaler, but I'm an agent, but I've got a flip underway to be ready in about 4 weeks. It's in Breckenridge Hills. It's a 2-bed, 1-bath, about 800 square feet, and we're going to hopefully list it for 125, unless somebody snags it up. It should rent for about 1,200. There's one 3 doors down that rents right now for 1,400. Although I don't want to use it. It's a little high. That's surprising, a little high, but 125 asking and rents for 1,200 is pretty good cash flow.
Yeah. Yep.
So it should be about 4 weeks. But if anybody wants to check it out, you can.
Yeah. Want to give us your contact information?
Sure. My phone number is 618-214-1599. And that's probably the best way to reach me. Just text or call.
Okay. And it's a 2-1, 800 square feet in Breckenridge, you said? Breckenridge Hills?
Yes.
Okay.
Thank you.
Okay, thank you.
Does that need any work, David? Or will it be ready to go?
It should be pretty turnkey. I mean, we're not finishing the basement, but it could be. You could put an extra room in there or something if you wanted, but we're making it pretty turnkey. So pretty long
Okay.
and ready to go.
Okay, thank you.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Good. Okay. Who else has got something for us today?
I
Good
have
morning. Oh, go ahead.
no, you go ahead. You go ahead. You go
Go
first.
ahead, Yolanda, go ahead.
Well, I don't have a property, but I just wanted to share some information for any landlords that are in the meeting. There's going to be a landlord event on the 30th of October. And if anyone's interested, I'm gonna put the information in the chat. And feel free, it's open to any landlord or potential landlords, and feel free to share the information. And I just put the link to register in the chat.
Okay, is that the one that's over in the in the Tower Grove? On the Tower
It's
Grove?
at the St. Patrick's Center.
Is that St. Patrick's Center? Okay.
Yeah, St.
Okay.
Patrick's Center, which is I think that's Tucker and I forget the cross street,
Yeah.
Tucker and Washington or something like that.
Okay, yeah, downtown. Okay.
It's from 8:30 to 1. We will provide a little continental breakfast and a lunch.
Oh, wow. Both breakfast and lunch. Okay. Very good. Okay, yeah, thank you for mentioning that. And I don't know that I'd seen that one.
You're welcome.
You did, yeah. Okay, let's see. Who was it? Ryan? You had something?
Yeah. Just going to give an update for the 612 West Gallatin. If anybody is interested in I think a fantastic um, project in Vandalia, Illinois. We will have we had this brick shear off the face. We're the renovation is almost to the top, so we'll have it completed here before the Halloween parade, coming through town in Vandalia. And I think what I'm going to try to do is see if anybody wants to partner with me. I have a lien on the property, um, and I would take that as a percentage of whatever the deal ends up being. If somebody wants to come in with the funds, I would help manage the construction and renovation of this project. That's basically what I can do on it right now. But 612 West Gallatin, multifamily, it's got 17 units if it goes back to existing, but we want to see what the numbers look like locally for expanding it into two other options, either like a big sober living or some to a much nicer renovated um, uh, midterm rental. So if anybody's interested in that, I'm leaving my information here in the chat.
Okay. Yeah, thank you, Ryan. Okay. Anybody else have anything for us? Or maybe you're, yeah.
I could mention Kathy's roundtable coming up again. She talked
Ooh.
about it a little bit last week, but this is always good if you can, let's see, let me find it here. The date, let's see, is November 7th, and that's at 1301 Olive. It's at the Library Auditorium, and that's a roundtable discussion. And it's they'll have Susan Alverson from Legal Services of Eastern Missouri. Also, there's going to be an associate St. Louis Circuit judge, which is Michael Colonna, and then Catherine Davis, the attorney, that comes on here and talks to us. every first Friday of the month. But these are pretty good, and I think I might have mentioned this. That's the first time I ever went to the library auditorium. I've been to the library downtown several times, but the auditorium is pretty cool actually. It's down in the lower level, and it was a lot better set up than I thought. But these are very educational and also entertaining. I would say. Um, is they do have people, and you can get up and talk to if there's anything you would like to say. We had last time they were there, they had some some tenants talking, and also some landlords, and some people that were in the public specter also. And it's very educational though, and I would highly recommend that if you could all make it. You might want to check your calendar, but it's on the let's see, the 7th of November, and it's from 5:30 to 7. So it's a little bit before the rush hour downtown. And I would just recommend it if you're at all interested. And it is mainly about the city of St. Louis, but one of the things we found out through the coalition in the last year and a half or so is everything that happens in the city kind of trickles out to the county and the outlying areas, and out actually throughout everything. So it's very worthwhile for you if you're a landlord, if you know any landlords, if you're a tenant. It doesn't make any difference. Very educational, and of course, I say entertaining too, because Kathy, as you know, she's got a great sense of humor, and some of the other people too. She's very nice at the way she does it, but very much to the point. So that's something that if you and I could see if I can put the flyer in the chat again. I'll do that. So I just wanted to mention that because if you can at all make it, I would recommend it.
Yeah, thank you, John. I remember taking a note of that last week when you mentioned it, but I didn't get it on my calendar. Right now, I just put it on my calendar where you reminded us about it. Thank you. I didn't get it far enough to get it on my calendar. It's got it there now.
Yeah, it looks like it let me put the flyer in there too, so you can grab that if you want it.
Okay. Okay. Anybody got anything else you want to talk about today?
I have a question.
Yes, go ahead.
So this doesn't involve a property in the St. Louis area. It happens to be down here, but I discovered that I'm way low in charging rent on a property. I have a super great tenant, and I appreciate his family and everything, but I know I have to raise it, and I'm at a place where I'm going to write up some paperwork today. I'm going to renew the lease. I'm still going to give him month to month, but I got to convey to them, here's my schedule of how I'm going to raise the rent. If I am like I'm at 1,400 right now, I got to go up to 1,700 in the city here. At least 1,750 to start off with. The highest comps that I've seen for this particular rental house is like 2,400 here, and I don't think my house is worthy to go up that high, but I think, gosh, if I'm looking at by the end of next year, being up to around right at 2,000 minimum. But how I'm going to present it to my question is how am I going to present this to my tenant today in my letter? So I think what I'm going to do, and see if you guys agree with this, if you have all this experience, I'm going to mention to him, hey, I want to adjust this. Here's where I'm at. Here's what the market's at. For the next 6 months, I'm going to raise it $50 every single month into June, and then from there we'll do another assessment on the market. After the election and politics and things take over, see where the market's going to be, and then try to give them a point of where it's going to be and how it's going to raise slowly the next, say, 5 years. Does that make sense to you?
Yeah, probably going in steps would make things a little easier. I don't know about every month. I don't know if anybody else got any input on that.
The every month is not good, I don't think, because they get used to a certain rent one month, and then you're gonna raise it again the next month. I would do your entire increase at once. I mean, not the entire, but let's say, you're gonna at least a 6 month.
Yeah, I was gonna say 6 months too. If you're
Yeah,
gonna
at
maybe
least a 6 month.
lock it in for 6 months of that, that'll give people a little time to adjust their budgets
Right.
and get used to that new program before you
Yeah,
bring them
but
in.
every
Yeah,
month, that's like an adjustable loan, and those are not fun, so.
Yeah, well, and it's unfortunately, one of the reasons why I have to raise is because I signed on to a 7-year ARM, and I'm at the 7 years. And
Mm,
it's my only loan that I've got, and wow, is it going to hit me hard? So that's the number one reason why I must, do this. But hopefully, I can refinance to a deal soon, and it won't be so painful next May. But I'm trying to, yeah, I know I need to get this up before May. So what you're thinking is I give them like a warning, like, hey, it's coming up. I'm gonna have to make a big adjustment here, and say, hey, it's February, March, this is your new rent. I'm at 1,400 now. It's going to jump to 1,750. And you think that's
yes,
more reasonable? And then say I'm going to readjust it again, say September, another 6 months, September, um, and let them know what the next rent's going to be. Is that what you're thinking?
yes, that's what I'm thinking. And you need to give them a 30-day notice that you're going to
Yeah.
end.
yeah. Yeah, in fact, I like to give, it's required in Missouri for 30-day, I think, but I like to give
Yeah,
a 60-day notice to my tenants
true.
when I'm
Yeah,
renting.
Yeah.
Just because, and I also have in our leases, they have to give a 60-day notice to me when they're going to be leaving, if they're on a month-to-month schedule. So it kind of works both ways. We're going to be raising the rent, but yeah, and that's good. I've got two arms too that I've had to do that with, and um, yeah, I didn't have any pushback when I told them I got the interest rates may be low for home ownership, but the ones for rental houses is not that we don't get the same break as owner occupied properties. So yeah, mine took a pretty significant jump this year also. And
yeah,
along with the taxes, insurance,
yeah,
just the cost of living. I wouldn't necessarily go by the market, say, yeah, because that's just telling, no, some other people might be greedy, but you're not saying you want to be as greedy as anybody else. But you let them know what the real costs are, that you got a loan that went from 3.5% to, oh, I had one that went from five point something to 8 point something. So
Yeah, that's what mine's doing.
yeah, okay, you're in the same.
Same thing.
Local bank here is about the same. So, yeah, and I like dealing with a local institution, but yeah, they don't do any 30-year fixed on rentals with my local bank here. So,
Can,
yeah.
can you afford 2 or 3 months of no payments, Ryan?
Uh, 2, 3 months with no payments from this property? No, I am a
Okay.
small time investor. I've got my two properties. I'm looking for some money to turn my upper room here in this house. I mean, I got some things I could do to get some more doors going. Um, but right now I'm trying to expand, but I am stuck. I know that it would hurt me bad if I miss out on any payments on this particular property.
well, and you might
Well,
have that though.
I'd be real cautious on this because my experience and what I've seen with a lot of these kind of things like that, that's a significant jump.
Mhm.
And here's what can possibly happen. I'm not saying this is going to happen. People can stop paying you completely by the time you evict them because they're saving money up from another place.
Yeah.
You're going to have to go back in there 2 or 3 months and then refix the whole place up and then possibly even have another month or two before you get somebody else in there. Sometimes an under, a property that's maybe not paying you full market value and they're paying you something is better than an empty property. I'm just
Mhm.
throwing
No,
that out
that's good.
as a possibility.
I appreciate that. Here's the good news about
Exactly.
this. The good news about this property, it's a fellow veteran, and he's got a great family, and he's been there for 6+ years, and paying this number, and and he's been solid, absolutely 100% solid all the way through. So he's treated me right. I want to treat him right. Like this is a tenant, like, the hour that he has a issue with his appliance, you're there fixing the appliance, because he just that good to me. So he got, we fixed I paid $2,000 last summer. Yeah, this last summer to fix two different things on the property, and I did him immediately because this guy's been so good to me. So yeah, I'm going to take care of him. He's taking care of me. I just want to give him plenty of notice and respect for what has to happen.
To give them, if the tenant is that good, finding a tenant that good. I know I've been a tenant all my life. I used to think that I was the norm, but apparently I'm not. But finding a tenant that is that good is not, like it's penny wise. It would be penny wise and pound foolish, to be honest, to be like, okay, I'm raising your rent next month.
Yeah, right.
So when you approach it, you should basically don't give them, like don't be, pick a number. Don't be, whatever that number is. Don't be wishy-washy about maybe I'll raise it 100, maybe I'll raise it 300, because you're leaving them hanging with whether or not they can afford to do that.
Yeah.
So I would give them plenty of notice and do give them like at least 3 months and say, the rent's going up, $150 or whatever. And then, so every 3 months, and then the following 3 months, it's going up another 150, and then wait a while, even if you do have the arm, it's probably better to keep, keep people in there that are paying and that are good and that take care of the place. You know what I mean? It's like, no, yes, you need the money, but also, take into consideration that, if they bail on you, you're not, even if they pay rent until they leave, it could be vacant for a couple of months. You could get people in there that aren't paying on time. You get people in there that aren't paying at all. So it's kind of a fine line. I would give them some time, and I would be very clear on what the rent increases will be so that they can plan, rather than, even if the rent increase is $1,000, it's better to let them know that rather than being like, well, I'll decide in 6 months if I'm going to raise it again, because then that leaves them going, okay, well, in 6 months, what are we going to, we don't even know how much it's going to be. How are we going to handle that?
Yeah, I appreciate that. I think what I'm going to do is with this lease renewal, which I'm still going to be month to month to him. I'm just going to tell him how things are going to go for the next 6 months or year, if he continues with me, right? I'm going to say this is what the schedule of rent's going to be, and or the jump, the dates of when it's going to jump, and I'll lay that all out so he's very clear about what's going to happen, but it be part of the lease renewal.
The other thing you might consider, which I don't know if you're open to that, but you might, saying this is my plan. If you have any questions, and be willing to negotiate, $50 either way.
Sure.
Just a thought, you don't have to do it, but if you really want to keep the tenant and they're that good, maybe do the increase $50 more than actually expect, and be willing to negotiate back down to what you really, really need, and then be willing to negotiate back down if the tenants ask. Because that makes people, more comfortable if you're willing to negotiate.
Yeah.
So it's something to think about.
Yeah.
I
Well, it sounds
appreciate
like what Mr. Landlord, one of his recommendations, he always says, if you ever feel that you can't afford this rent increase, be sure to let me know. And I think he's had very good luck with that, and letting people know that if they're in a hardship situation, yeah, they would probably call him. And so if he's got a good tenant, then they can make a decision if he wants to make an exception. And if you know this gentleman pretty well, he's been with you that long. If you have an idea what his income is from when he applied, probably if he can afford a rent increase. I mean, the two that with my adjustables here recently, this last year, when their leases, I do a 1 year leases after the first 2 year lease, and I knew both of these houses, they had more than enough income to afford the $200 increase that I bumped their lease up to. So they didn't have any, I didn't get any pushback, even though I gave them good reasons why. I told them taxes, insurance, we haven't raised their rent. And one of them, I only raised it by taxes and insurance over the last 6 years that they have been there. And so I was really behind. So, it's a big difference going from a $20 a month increase to a $200 a month increase. But I justified it with the loan, my loan adjustment.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, my landlord does, couple hundred jumps. Like my current landlord right now increased the rent on me like for 3 years, so I can't really complain, even though it seems like a big jump. Like I can't really complain.
Yeah, if people look around,
it's like 100 or 200, and they don't do it every single year.
No.
So just something else to, food for thought.
No, I appreciate that. I kept it the same number all the way through COVID, and yeah, and I think I've given him enough deal that he can understand why I have to raise it.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, well, that, and like if you haven't raised it in 6 years and you give him plenty of notice, most going to be a problem. And if you like at least like what was already said before about like, let them know, like if there's an issue with, being able to afford it, or if you, like, please, feel free to let me know in advance so that we can, possibly work something out. That's a really good policy to have, because then it's up to you. Like you don't necessarily have to negotiate, but you at least know that the tenant won't just leave thinking that there's no way to talk to.
There's no other. This is a firm, fast deadline. Take it or leave it. So you want to leave her, like Renee says, leaving your options open that you're willing to listen to them.
Yeah, and I even gave this guy I only give him like a month and a half window or 2 month window I even gave him like exclusive offer. Like I don't want to sell the property. I'm kind of a buy and hold guy. But I said I was at a place where it's like, okay, if I have to sell it, I really want to sell it to this family. And I even gave him that kind of opportunity. So yeah, he's been treated pretty well. So yeah, I just and the good news also with this property is it's a high demand area. So I just did the comps, and it was hard for me to find comps within the big neighborhood, because it was just everything has been taken up. And so I'm glad I landed this property and flipped it really well. So now but I did a 75% remodel, which you never want to do. And then, but thankfully I've done well. I think over the next several years I'll, uh, take care of all my losses on it.
Okay. Well, I hope we gave you some food for thought here between right. I would like to give a shout out to Renee too. She was at our lunch last whatever it was, Monday, a week ago. Yeah, a week ago Monday. She flew in from Massachusetts just to join us for lunch. So I hope it was worth your trip, Renee.
Oh, it was. I had a blast, and I met a lot of people, and I follow up an email and just say hi, but the last week or so has definitely gotten away from me. So but yes, hi everybody. I didn't forget about you. I had a great time. I really the people that were there. And I hope to be able to do that again at some point, maybe in 6 months or so.
Yeah, look forward to it. Glad you enjoyed it.
Question. We were told that they weren't renting or allowing renters or property to be rented in the Berkeley area. Is that true? Does anybody know that or heard anything about that?
I think
Yes, that is the case. My guess is they probably got that's my guess. I don't know that for sure, but it used to be that only a very small percentage of people could rent, but that's basically unconstitutional, because what they were doing was trying to keep out, let's just say, certain people, and like not to get big into that, but And plus, it's like, it's your property. Who are they to tell you whether you can rent it or out or not? You know, as long as you're following all the codes, how is that their purview? But the bottom line is, yes, they are allowing rentals. You might want to contact the city to see if they have, you know, certain requirements. But they have opened it up to rentals from everything I've heard, including a friend of mine who had property there at one point when they changed it.
Okay, yeah, I know some of the municipalities are trying to put some restrictions on, saying not more than 20% of properties on a particular block can be rentals and those kind of things. And well, the same with they're doing the same thing with short-term rentals too. Every city is putting out, you know, different guidelines, so you have to be aware of that if you're buying a property and they plan on doing a short-term rental or any kind of rental, like if that municipality is putting restrictions on it. Yeah, hopefully they got the message from. They got sued by somebody, property owners, and they cleaned up their act. You know, we've had to go up against City Hall and the county council before here a few years back when they tried to do the landlord licensing, try to come up with some kind of a scheme to require all landlords to pay a licensing fee and license every one of their properties they're renting. And I wouldn't. We solicited everybody in our group, in this group, to come on down, and I got up and spoke before them, told them I was representing a large group of you know, landlords and property owners, and that this was not going to work in their favor. So, and then Kathy Davis got up the same night and said, "And if you pass this, I'm going to be suing you." She already had investment backers that were going to file a lawsuit and take it to the state because it was unconstitutional for the Missouri state constitution. So, and I don't know if she got that far, I forget. Anyway, they certainly have to realize their errors in their way.
So as a follow-up question to that, you guys, so we're newbie investors to the St. Louis market. I grew up here and we're really trying to hone in on like areas and zip codes that we want to invest in. And I was on this call like 2 years ago. That's why I invited my husband, and we have just really kind of been watching the market and trying to find properties in this time. And so we're ready to make that move. But I think I remember Catherine, the attorney, I was on one time, she was on, and she was just talking about certain areas that weren't really kind of landlord friendly. Are there certain areas that you guys remember that, you know, that I'm just trying to get an idea of if some of the zip codes that we've picked out, if, you know, we can kind of perhaps maybe eliminate those or put them lower on the list if, you know, they're problematic for landlord tenant kind of relationships.
I don't know. Anybody else have any words on that? Yeah, I remember Kathy talking about it, and from time to time, there's different areas.
Are you going to be managing the properties yourself?
Yes.
Okay. You probably do want to network with some other landlords in some different areas before you jump into it in any certain area. You know, it's as far as good areas, bad areas, I don't know. It's all a matter of subjection. I mean, I've had properties in places I wouldn't go after noon. I've also had properties in other places, and it doesn't matter. It matters more on the tenant. But it does matter on municipalities. You mentioned Berkeley here. I know they've had a lot of things going on. There's a lot of areas like that though. And the good and the bad about St. Louis areas, there's like 114 different municipalities, something like that. And you do need to know your area. Some of them are from neighborhood to neighborhood, even in the same municipalities. Somebody mentioned Breckenridge Hills earlier. I think that's 63114, but the 63114 in particular probably has 5 different cities involved in the same zip code. So I would definitely check with somebody and network before you just jump into it, you know. And if you're out looking at houses, one of the things that helps a lot of times too is talk to the neighbors and see what they think, and then find, you know, yourself a little bit of background. How many rental properties are there in comparison to owners in the neighborhoods? Just things like that. So just kind of throwing that out there. I don't see Stacy or Dave Soto on here right now. They tell us a lot, and they could give you a lot of insights on some different areas.
Yeah, that's I was going to
Some are a
say.
lot more landlord friendly than others, for sure. That doesn't mean you can't do anything there, but it's just be aware before you get into it, because a lot of times you get into stuff. At least I know I have in the past where I wish I wouldn't have got into them, And some of the best I had a appraiser one time tell me some of the best deals you do are the ones you never do, and I really agree with that 100%. So, just education.
Mhm.
The main thing is invest in yourself before you invest in some of the areas. So,
Okay, thank you.
and these landlord events coming up too. Linda brought one up earlier, and then
Yeah.
talked about
Yeah, I have that down.
I would
Mhm.
definitely go visit them, and then that's where you're going to find out, talk to some other people, get there early and maybe stay a little bit late and just kind of network with them. You find out a lot of times a lot more from just talking to people that's already done it, because you won't know that stuff till you get into it. So just a little bit to think about.
Mhm.
Yeah,
Yeah,
and
thank you.
yeah, and John said, yeah, if David Soto or Stacy was on here today, they are property managers, and even though you're planning on managing yourself, it wouldn't hurt to talk to interview some property managers and tell them some areas you might be interested in and see if they have recommendations for some areas that there may be some areas. I know Jim Choik has got a good property manager he likes. I forget get the name of him. But I know he's looking
Okay.
at properties. Hey, I'm looking at a property in this. He tells his manager, "Hey, I'm looking at a property in this area," and she said, "No, you have to find somebody else to manage it if you want to buy a property in that area." So she said, the property managers have steered him away from investing in certain areas because they know there's difficulties with the township or whatever municipality governs that the rentals in that area.
Good to know.
Yeah. Hope that was helpful.
It was helpful.
Yeah. Okay. Anybody else got something for us today?
Yeah, my computer's been going in and out, and I don't know if John talked about it. I think I've got a ticket to the STLREIA convention the end of this month. I guess it's a 3-day thing that is run between the Ohio Real Estate Organization and the Cincinnati Real Estate Organization. So I don't know if anybody was interested in that. I think John, since I got on late and my computer's cutting out, whether he mentioned it, I think he said the other day he had a ticket too. So I don't know if anybody's interested in that thing going on. It's like 3 full days of real estate stuff from, I don't know, 30 different uh, speakers or something like that. And I think they usually have like 3 sessions going on at once each time. Plus, they even offer, I guess, once it's over, you can get the replays online too. So I don't know if anybody would be interested in that or not.
Yeah, no, we didn't mention it today here, but I did get an email this week that said they're getting close to filling up. So apparently they got a few more seats to fill in that conference. I got an email reminder just yesterday, I think, or maybe the day before. So yeah, thanks for bringing it up. I don't know if anybody's got a link to the registration page on that. You can put in the chat if somebody's interested.
I think they just sent me the ticket, so I would just have to send them the email that includes the ticket. I'm not sure how it transfers properly though.
I mean, you're looking to give up your ticket?
Yeah, because I
Oh,
don't know that
okay,
I'm gonna
okay,
make it there. Yeah,
okay.
and I think they said they've got about 30 places left. And about a week ago, if you were just interested in the online videos, I think you could go to the radio website WMKV, and you might have to dig through it a little bit to find it, but I think you could just uh, buy the access to the videos after they're ready for like $2.98 or something. I think my ticket originally cost me like $1.98 because I was listening to the real life real estate radio program that's on Wednesday afternoon at 4 o'clock. And if you gave them a donation of like 198 or whatever, they'd send you a ticket. And that's how I got my ticket.
Okay, yeah, you got a good buy there.
Yeah.
Well, I'm glad we're able to pass it on. You want to give us some contact information if you've got somebody on here that
Yeah, my
you may do
email
that?
address is Bruce Stotler, the name that's on the screen, BRUCESTOTLER 11. That's the number 11 at gmail.com. And my phone number is 314-742-1810.
314-742
1810.
1810. Okay.
Let me see if I can put that in the chat. Yeah.
Okay, yeah, if you can put it on the chat too, that'd be good. Thank you, Bruce, for making that offer. Very generous of you. Okay. Yeah, that should be a good area. Everybody I've talked to that's gone to that the Ohio RIA annual conference is that is well worth the time. Okay. Anybody else got something for us today?
I have a question. I just want to know if I can get some feedback on a challenge that I have with a tenant that I had filed for eviction, but we went to mediation, and the judge gave her until the 17th of October to leave the well, actually, she said she was leaving on the 17th, which was yesterday. Physically, she's gone, but she left a whole bunch of stuff in the house. Does anyone know what is my next step? I mean, what are my rights? Can I just throw the stuff away since it's still there after the date she was supposed to leave? What? I'm not sure. And it's so much, I can't even get in there to start putting it back together to
Oh my
rent
gosh.
someone else. I mean, it's like TV, sofas, end tables, food in the refrigerator. Oh, it's horrible, horrible. So
Oh,
has anyone run into anything like that where the tenant just left everything?
oh boy.
And there's a car in the garage.
A car in the garage. I was going to say, I had a situation like that when I had a one-bedroom apartments and didn't leave a lot, but it had a lot of stuff in their storage area in the basement that was left behind, stuff in closets and things like that. I had an empty one-car garage in the alley behind the unit at the time. I just moved it all to there, put a sign on the door. When I changed the locks, put a sign on the doors. Hey, if you want to come get your stuff, let me know. And you're willing to pay that she left me with owing a month behind rent. Come pay your rent and, I'll give you access to get your stuff out. See, Amber's got her hand up. She might have had that experience. Go ahead, Amber.
Yeah, so not too long ago, I did not have to take a tenant to court, but we filled out a Missouri notice of abandonment of a leased premises. So you can Google that document. I believe this one was the rent as did your tenant pay her rent?
No.
Okay, so the very first one, again, you can Google it. It says the rent on the premises has been due and unpaid for at least 30 consecutive days. Now, I believe we posted this, and for some reason, I want to say it was a short amount of time, maybe 2 weeks, less than a month, but you posted on the door, and basically it says, hey, if you don't come back and get your stuff, let's see, this notice was posted on the premises and mailed to the tenant, first class and certified mail. Um, just Google Missouri notice of abandonment of a leased premises, and I think that will tell you what to do next. You don't even have to take them to court, but this is, hey, this information went to the tenant. We told them we're going to change the locks. They have, the right to contact me and say they're done. But after that point, you can, change the locks and move on.
Actually, I changed the locks last night because, like I said, we went to mediation and we had a written agreement that we both signed in front of the judge. And so since she was supposed to be out by 7, last night I changed the locks because I don't trust her. And I don't think she's coming back to get the stuff, really. I really don't. And but I will check out this Missouri notice of abandonment of leased premise. And we actually go back to court on November 12th. So, when we go back, I can maybe tell the judge that I
Mhm.
filled out this Missouri notice of abandonment and
Yep,
took.
and you just post it on the door, and I think you have to mail a form as well to the house just to show that, you did your due diligence to try and contact the tenant, even though she
Okay.
moved.
Yeah.
And again, it was the easiest thing I had to do. The tenant did leave, and I didn't have to evict or anything. And again,
And she took her stuff with her when she left?
no, absolutely not. I had to pay
Oh.
somebody to come and clean all that stuff out,
Okay.
but
See, that's
they
what
were
I'm thinking.
gone. Yeah, they were
Yeah.
gone by the date of that I had said, please be gone by this date. And they
How
were
long did you wait before you paid someone to move her stuff out?
the next day. So
Oh,
I
really?
posted like the 13th, you need to be gone by the 13th. At the 14th, we came, changed the locks, and started cleaning it out.
So I can start cleaning it out now, right? So,
I think you
okay.
can.
I'm
Yeah.
not a lawyer, and I'm not pretending to play one on TV.
Right.
So
Right.
All
I'm just
right.
giving you my experience that worked out for me.
Okay, thank you.
I'm confused, Yolanda. Why are you going back to court in November, did you say?
November 12th, we go back to make sure everything in the agreement was adhered to. Like I said, she left a car in the garage. It's
Mm,
supposed to be out by October 31st.
mm.
And that was also part of the follow-up to make sure the car was gone and she was gone by the 17th of
Okay.
October.
Yeah, I'm not a lawyer either, but it sounds like if she's got an agreement to move it out by the 30th of this month, you still have to abide by that time period. And if
That was
it's
only for the car. That was only for the
only for the
Oh,
car,
car,
okay.
yeah.
Only for the car.
Yeah, because there was another lawyer I listened to about a week or two ago, and he said as soon as uh, he made it sound like as soon as they left and you got an agreement to get the premises back, you could start moving their stuff out. But I guess you also may want to talk to Kathy Davis or Chris Bosler and see if they've got any updates, because it sounded different than what I've heard before, that you have to have some time period, like Amber said, of maybe a notice that apparently they've abandoned this stuff. Plus, there's always
Yeah.
the example they like to use is like, well, you took all my stuff and threw it away in the trash can, and it had my grandmother's wedding ring, and then they try to sue you for it. So need to take pictures. You need to have
Yeah, I'm going
make
over
sure
there today and
you
take
good advice from a lawyer supposedly. Uh, yeah, but one lawyer, like I said you can throw their stuff out the next day, but obviously you can't throw it out on the street. The city made a law for that, but you can supposedly throw it away in the dumpsters. So
Yes.
again, that's another question about that. So
Okay. Yes, thank you.
Yeah, it's been a while since I did that, but I did post a notice on the door. I think it was some kind of notice of abandonment. Yeah.
Yeah, I'm gonna look that up
Interesting.
immediately because I'm not
Yeah.
familiar with that.
Okay.
So I will look
I'd
that
call
up.
Kathy's office, and I'm going to give you her number, just because you
Okay.
don't want to, yeah, just know for yourself, because there are all different municipalities are different. It's 314-962-1115. I would definitely have legal counsel on that, because even like the car, there's a good chance they won't pick up the car by the due date. And
Yeah, I don't think so.
there's other things you can do, but see, a car, to get rid of them, you almost got to go through like a quiet title process. We've had to do that with other vehicles in the past, and that's a whole process in itself. Now that some of the things you can do, I've seen people do, is tow the car out to the street, and then you don't know how it got there, but report it to the municipality that somebody left an abandoned car, and they'll come and get it. We've had to do that in other places before, where people actually did leave them in the street and they just wouldn't get them. So I would be careful on anything you do, but and I think Lloyd just said that too. All of a sudden, there's heirlooms that you got rid of that are priceless and worth $1 million when they weren't paying their $800 rent or whatever. There's stuff that comes up, and it's almost comical, but it's not comical because they take a lot of that serious. So just call their office, and just for your own peace of mind, I would definitely do that.
Okay. What's Kathy's last name?
Davis. Doesn't matter who, it depends on the municipality. She does St. Louis City, and then Christine in her office does the county, and then Chris Bosler does outlying counties. He also does the city, but just call up and tell them what you're calling for. Just tell them that you talked to us here, and we highly recommended you call them.
Okay, thank you. Thank you, John. Thanks,
Good luck with
everybody.
it.
Thank
Yeah.
you.
I'd say if the doors are open in the car, maybe you could put a lot of little stuff it in. How big a car is it? You could put a clean out the closets and put it in.
I haven't seen the car. She told the judge the car was in the garage.
Oh,
And
okay.
last night it was dark when I was over there.
Yeah.
So when I go over there today, I'll look.
Mm-hmm. Okay, yeah, good luck with that.
Thank you.
Jeremiah, you put something in the chat there. Would you like to say a couple things here? Feel free to unmute yourself.
Oh no, I'm enjoying this. I'm in Georgia, so I'm enjoying this St. Louis stuff. My mind is blown away because I didn't know it was that crazy like that. Especially between the city and county. I'm enjoying this. I'm just a regular mom and pop investor. I do micro mapping and stuff like that. And just all that is, I could look at real estate markets anywhere in the country and just basically just know in real time if it's going to be up and coming or if it's nosediving. And I usually know that 6 months out. So the stuff like with Austin, Texas, Dallas, Houston, Los Angeles, the Oakland, San Francisco Bay Area. I was telling my buddies 2 years ago, hey, get rid of your properties. Your market's getting ready to nosedive. I was called everything but my name. Now I'm getting the calls now. Jamone, what should I tell my client? The only thing I could tell your client is tell them Pat. I told you 2 years ago y'all market was nosediving. So folks is hurting right now. And like I say, out here in Georgia right now, we're looking at properties going to auction with 2, 3, 4%, interest rates. And these homes were brought a couple years ago. Why are they going to auction? Property taxes and insurance came with those artificially inflated home prices. And a lot of people, who are not from here, like I said, I'm originally from the Bay Area, Oakland, San Francisco Bay Area. But a lot of folks from the East Coast and West Coast that moved down here, they have no idea from each county in the Atlanta metro area is different. What property taxes are in Fulton County are totally different in DeKalb County. I'm out here in Douglas County. It's pretty cheap out here, property tax and insurance. Cobb County is expensive. So a lot of folks don't factor that in. And then with the whole Airbnb situation, they had no idea out here homeowner associations could foreclose on you because you have folks that have these Airbnbs and they were subleasing them, and the sublease person was subleasing out to somebody else. Well, when you got folks throwing wild parties and people are getting beat up and stabbed and shot, yeah, that's going to rub neighbors the wrong way. So that's what's happening right now. They pretty much put the kibosh on it, and I think they're going to take a page out of Denver, Colorado's playbook in a minute. Oh, you want to be in the Airbnb business? Okay, we're going to start taxing you like a hotel. So if you have an Airbnb in a blue collar neighborhood, think in terms of Motel 6, Red Roof Inn. Oh, you have an Airbnb in a high end luxury neighborhood. Think Four Seasons, a higher Regency, etc. And when a homeowner start getting those tax forms that the hotels get this big, they have a come to Jesus meeting like, I don't want to do this no more. Here go the keys. I'm out. So that's what's starting to happen out here in the Atlanta metro area right now. So that's pretty much my spiel. I'm enjoying the St. Louis stuff, so don't mind me.
Yeah, all the areas around here are starting. Municipalities are starting to enact laws, regulations against on the Airbnb market. So I'm here out in St. Charles County, just west of St. Louis County, and we got stuff on the books now too that very restrictive on how many can be on a particular block.
So what do you think of our area, Jermone?
I mean, from a micro market standpoint, I like what I see. But then when I'm looking at the metros for you guys' areas, I'm looking place was it called St. Joseph's, I think. It's was one of the top metros. And I gotta look at my maps again, but I was just kind of like, okay, I see St. Louis right here. I see St. Joseph. And then there was a couple other little cities. I was like, okay, now I gotta do a deeper dive as far as like the zip codes go. And again, and I'll probably left this out. The technical analysis is just basically supply and demand and market momentum. That's pretty much it. Where most everybody else looks at stuff from a fundamental standpoint, like demographics, crime statistics, schools, which is okay. But the problem is what a 5-star school is in St. Louis may be a 3-star school out there in Las Vegas. What the crime rate is in Houston is totally different from the crime rate in Alpharetta, Georgia. So it's just those fundamentals like that. It's hard to compare those fundamentals from market to market. So like I say, with technical analysis, all I care about is supply and demand and market momentum. I could apply that to any market and then just go from there. But
You brought up some good points. You talk about St. Joseph's. That's actually, I believe, on the other side of the state where you're talking about here. And yeah, and one of the things about Missouri is 115 counties. Every one is different. And we talked about that just a couple months ago with the tax sales in general. I mean, every one is totally different, and they all go by the beat of their own drummer. So forget what you know about everything. And they'll even change the rules on their own rules before the date comes up. So there's just stuff going on. So the micro markets are always very interesting to me. And thanks for sharing all that with us.
yeah, my information in the chat. Y'all reach out to me. I get y'all some stuff for free. Then I don't mind. I just I like to bring value to people. I've always felt I bring enough value to folks. I'm gonna get what I want. And I've given away more free information than I've closed deals. So I'm not ashamed to say that. So like I say, my information in the chat. Y'all reach out to me. We can have a conversation. I'll do what I can to help.
Thank you. And yeah, I appreciate you being a person of value, which I know you are just by what you share with us. Thank you very much.
Very good. Thank you, Jerome. Okay, anybody else got anything for us today? Amber, you had your hand up earlier. Did you get your question answered, or did somebody else or you got interrupted? I want to give you a chance to have another say. Amber's a member of our board. Well, another volunteer here.
No, I'm good. I was just I think the conversation talked about Airbnbs, and I had just looked up St. Louis City. So I have a property that I'm putting on the market probably next week. And I know that the conversation about St. Louis City and the short-term rental game, if you will, I thought that you had to get a permit basically now for short-term rentals in St. Louis City. But when I just went on the city's website, it does not start until I think November 6th, which was interesting to me. Because I had thought that had been enacted. So I'm trying to, again, put it on the market beforehand.
Get it ready fast.
Yeah. And so I think it said actually until May of 2025, they're giving you. So November of this year to May of 2025, go ahead and get your applications in. But yeah, the application's not even out there to submit. So that was surprising to me.
Okay. Yeah, I thought it's good to know. Good to know. Yeah, I know they enacted some stuff, but yeah, it takes a while to get the government wheels all set up a new process for registration and everything. So good to know.
Lloyd, I missed some of the dates at the very beginning that you were kind of going over of some of the upcoming
events.
You mentioned the last meeting on November. Is that on Zoom or is that like an in-person?
Oh, that's an in-person. I'm talking about our main events are in person. We do have a Zoom option. You can find that on our website, STLREIA.com, STLREIA.com. But it's in person. This will be the in-person one for this year at the Shriner Center. It's November the 19th, the third Tuesday. It's always the third Tuesday, except for December. We don't do a December meeting. Third Tuesday of November is the 19th. And I think we're going to be doing a panel discussion, but we got those are always pretty interesting. And then the first Monday, if you're of the month, is our lunch, which would be November the 4th, coming up here, day before Election Day. Is the first Monday, so we're doing a lunch at 11 o'clock at the Applebee's on Olive, right at 270,
Okay,
just east of 270. There's an 11 o'clock at Applebee's there.
okay,
Those are our
Okay.
two upcoming live events.
okay.
Live lunch and a live meeting at 6 o'clock. Or well, 6. Yeah, we open the doors at 6.
For the November the 19th meeting.
Yeah, 6:30 and November the 19th.
Okay,
Yeah, hope you can come join us.
perfect. Thank you.
Okay. Anybody else have anything for us today? Any more questions? Other than that, it's kind of up on new, actually, just past the 12 o'clock hour here. If not, I don't know, you want to wrap it up, John? I think like we got a lot of good discussions here today.
Yeah, a
Hopefully
lot
got
of good conversations. Thanks for
conversations.
tuning in. Get the replay on YouTube by tonight, be in the members section real soon. So if you need anything, well, feel free to reach out. Otherwise, we'll look forward to seeing you next week. Same time, same place, same smile and face.